Hi, this is Thomas O'Neill, your host with the Voynich Manuscript and a translation of the first and last word of MS 408, the Voynich Manuscript, the first and last words. Just a little side note about me. I've been studying the Voynich Manuscript for 17 years. I've had some, what I thought was success with the Voynich Manuscript, several books that I wrote, and they were in total error. They are completely false. And I unpublished them. And if you do research about my name out there, they may point to books about that. So those books are not correct. The books that are correct are the books about the speaking in tongues, Voynich Supernova, and the one about Michael Voynich, or Michael Wojnich, as the forger of MS-408. Now, Rich Santa Coloma has come on and in the comment section stated that I plagiarized. I didn't. I supported his work as referenced as a source for paraphrasing his work within the book. The idea of the cipher, the substitution cipher, which is straight from the Eva Voynich, which Renee Zandenberger made. Eva is a straight one-to-one word representation of the Voynich glyphs. So I took Eva and translated that into Latin letters from the, the highest used letter to the least used Latin letter, just like the Eva and representation of Voynich glyph. Now, so to show you that this cipher does bear some meaning and it does correspond to a translation which has meaning, I like to present to you the first and last words of the Voynich manuscript as a translation. Now these are word puzzles, so within the words that are decoded are small Latin words. And this is on occasion. It happens a few times in the Voynich manuscript. Not all of the Voynich manuscript words are Latin words. That's how Wilfrid Voynich got around it's not being discovered as a Latin cipher, the substitution cipher. It turned out to be a very repetitive um, type of glossolalia type conlang manuscript of words, the low entropy, uh, very repetitive type of a language. And so using few Latin words in the Voynich manuscript, with this cipher, I hit gold. I was lucky that I found the actual um, letter, one-to-one letter that he used behind the Voynich glyphs, which solved the Voynich manuscript, the MS-408. And he uses little Latin word puzzles within the words that are decoded. So let's get on to this. Let's read this. If you know how to read Latin words within a word that is a puzzle, then after applying the cipher and using Voynich's site, you will have a Latin word meaning to the first and last words of MS-408. I will make it simple for you. When in Voynich, go to the first word in the first folio, click on it, and copy and paste that word into the great site, which is the Speaking in Tongues Voynich great site. Read the first three letters that are decoded into the Latin lexicon. You will have the definition. Remember, novum is 9 in Latin, but it's implying nova for supernova. What I discovered using my cipher is that many of the star charts is the actual date of April 30th 1006, and they correspond to um, certain diagrams within the Voynich manuscript and how they sit with the date and the representations of the symbology and the imagery of the star charts within Voynich manuscript. So the supernova is of real importance in the Voynich manuscript of 1006, although it was never written, or the manuscript was never composed or made at this time. It is a time period in which Wilfrid Voynich picked to utilize a framework for the Voynich manuscript. Now, there's the first word right here in the document, right here, and this is what we'll be focusing on, is the first word of MS408 defines the opening of long journey with MS408. So if we simply go into Voynich and we go up to the very first left-hand corner of Voynich and open it up and go to the left-hand corner, up left-hand corner, and click on the word, then we just copy across and right-click and then copy the word. Then we go over to my site, which is speaking in tongues Voynich great site.net. Then we right click, paste the word, which is fat cheese and Eva, fat cheese and Eva, and decode. What you will see in the decoded box is Via Novum B, and that is the decoded word in Latin. Yet, it's not a Latin word in its entirety, but if you take the first three letters, and that's what we'll do, we'll copy the first three letters, and novum is an actual word on its own. It's 9, but it's implying nova for supernova. We'll take the first three letters, and we'll go into the Latin lexicon and look up this word, and let's do a search. And the third one says way, march, journey. Now, that would make sense if you're doing the opening word for a manuscript of 240 pages with 40,000 words. It would be a journey to state that. And novum, since it's what the manuscript is about, is nova, supernova, would be indicative of the manuscript. Now, let's take a look at the next word. This is the next word, is the last word of the Voynich manuscript. This word right here is the last word of MS408. It describes primarily what the Voynich document is about. So, once again, we'll go into Voynich. We'll go to the very last page, and we'll go to the last word, we'll click on it, and there it is. We'll copy it, and we'll go into the cipher. And well, here we are in the cipher of the last word of the Voynich manuscript. And what you'll notice is the first two letters is EO and novum. Well, what EO means in Latin is the one mentioned, and novum is 9 for Latin. But what it implies is nova for supernova. So the very last word of the Voynich manuscript is describing one mentioned nova. So it's saying it's basically about the supernova of the Voynich manuscript. So I'll show you this. EO, the one mentioned. This, that, the, he, it. The supernova. So, this is the last word of the MS408. It describes primarily what the Voynich document is about. And it's EO. So, So this is a logical premise for a cipher, a deduction. The first word being that it's a journey. So a journey is something that takes a long time, and yes, the very first word of the Voynich manuscript must be he was thinking about a journey of many words. And then the very last, and he also included novum in that. So he was thinking about building up some meaning for the supernova going forward into the Voynich manuscript. And then the very last word it says, this supernova. So uh, that's what it was primarily about. You can go ahead and go into greatsite.net, and I have a link to my YouTube channel, and it will show you all the videos and some of the videos. I think I have quite a few, which goes into detail about star charts and the supernova. So if you're interested in that, and then I also have a link to the pointed stars and Rosetta map, which also goes into detail more about the Voynich manuscript. The Voynich star talks about this. The stars talk about the supernova, and there's a transcription there that you can use EVA like you do with one word at a time. And the Voynich site, you can go on the Voynich manuscript and copy full-length paragraphs of Voynich into the EVA word decoder and the cipher, and it'll decode all the words for you in the box. Well, there you have it. And I hope you enjoyed this video wherever you're at, whether it's evening, morning, or afternoon, whatever part of the world you're in. This is Thomas O'Neill, the man who really, really did figure out the meaning to the Voynich manuscript at your pleasure. Take care and have a good night.